What's up, winners? Vlog 11 was a torture to watch as I got torched for 10.7k last week. In a 2-5-10 game, that's over 1,000 bigs, easily the worst loss I've ever had in terms of big blinds. And in today's episode, we get to go back to TCH Live to play that same exact game. It's the Thursday live stream game, and again, the stake is 2-5-10, 2k max buy-in, but we get to match the biggest stack. In this episode, I'm gonna crack aces a couple of times, and I want y'all to stay into the end because there's a lot of great hands, and let's see how I do bouncing back from a big loss. Y'all make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. No long intro, let's get right into the hands. First good hand of the session, here we go. It folds to us in a hijack and we look down to pocket kings. The blinds is 2-5-10, so we raise it up to 40 and get a little resistance from Bobby. We don't know very much about our opponent, except Bobby is a friendly guy and seems to play for profit. At 200 big blinds, button versus hijack will have a lot of 3-bets, with some polarized 3-bets thrown in. Against a button 3-bet, we're never gonna slow play our pocket kings. So our plan is to raise it up and then get SPRs around 2. That way we can c-bet on most boards on the flop and then hopefully get it in by the turn. Kings is certainly not a pair that we want to go through the streets with, as we give our opponent way too many opportunity to realize the equity through 2 pairs, straights, flushes, etc. When Bobby raises it to 130, we decided to raise it up to 380. If Bobby calls, the pot will be approximately $800, leaving us with an SPR of right under 2. Unfortunately, Bobby folds, but I'm happy to not slow play kings, especially when I know nothing about Bobby. In the next hand, a levy opens up his +1. He raises it to 40. I'm in the low jack, and although most of the time I'll be folding jack 9 suited, I haven't really noticed a lot of pressure from the people to my left. So I take the opportunity to hit my VPIP for the live stream. I like calling with jack 9 in position against an opponent that has been tight and hasn't really shown aggression on flops. It folds around to optimize, who calls in the under the gun straddle. 3 ways to the flop. The flop is 4-2-2, 2 spades. When it checks to us, we can either bet our draw and build up a pot, or we can check it back knowing that we're gonna have a lot of equity on turn and rivers. I decide to do the latter because getting check raised in this spot is gonna be pretty gross. The turn is a 6 of spades, completing our flush. Optimize is first to act and he leads out for 60. A levy folds, which is great. Now we don't have any overpairs to worry about from the early position raiser. I have a disguised flush, but I also don't want to value own myself and raise it here unnecessarily. Optimize has some boats in his range, as well as possible better flushes. We just make the call with our disguised flush and await a river. The river is the king of diamonds. When Optimize checks, we have the green light to go for some value. Here, I'm targeting 2 pairs that might be trying to protect its hand. I go with approximately 2/3 sizing, $160. Optimize makes the call, and we win a good small pot, but a great one to help build some momentum early in the game. Alright guys, so the action tracker is all over the place on this particular hand, so let me at least call out the hands that actually matter. Lucky Buddha raises his +1. He raises it to 40. Rogelio calls in a low jack, and it folds around on me into the small blind. Normally, I'm pretty good about getting rid of the pocket deuces, but we're playing so deep and there's always a chance I get to cool someone off, so I just throw in the $38. We're going multiple ways to the flop. The flop is Queen 7-2, 2 clubs. I get ready to check, but good lord, there goes the deuce we're looking for. Lucky Buddha also checks, and Rogelio gets to bet. He bets $200, a full-size pot bet. Not wanting to scare off top pair, we go ahead and just make the call. The turn is a 10 of spades. We go ahead and check, and this time Rogelio slows down. He only bets $100, which is pretty weird. Nevertheless, we're gonna look for an opportunity to raise. We raise it to $375. I know it's not much, but that $100 seems so weak that I just want to get some value. Rogelio thinks about it, and he goes in and flickers into chips. Off to a river. The river is a 6 of hearts, completing a backdoor straight. Not that we ever think he has a straight here. When it's time for us to bet, we decide to size up. This time we go ahead and bet $750. It's not that big of a bet, but it is a pretty meaty bet to get value from top pair. Rogelio doesn't think too long before putting in the call, and we win a pretty good pot. I'm so surprised he actually has 2 pairs here. If only I've known. It's sun running time. We're in the +2, and we look down at the ladies. The 20 straddle is on, so we raise it to 75. Only Aaron calls on the button. Many of you guys know Aaron as the commentator for TCH Live. He's someone I battle on a regular basis and is absolutely one of the better players I've played against. But he's gonna need a lot to avoid this one. The flop is Queen 7-3, we flop the nuts. As we're the first to act, we're gonna start wanting to build this pot. We start with a standard c-bet, $50. Aaron calls and we're off to see a turn. The turn is an ace of clubs, bringing in the backdoor flush draw, and potentially some top pairs that floated. While there is bluff or value hands on this ace card, we're going to generally size up. So this time we put in a pot size bet of 250. And once again, Aaron calls. The river is the 8 of hearts, ensuring that we have the best possible hand. On this particular river, we want to use good sizing and hope that we get called by the top of his range. Potentially some Queen X on the flop or some Ace X that floated. We go for a good river bet of $600, around 3/4 pot. Aaron thinks it over for a second and puts in a call. This is one of our bigger pots of the day and a good start for what's about to come the rest of the session. Alright winners, buckle down, we're about to see one of the best hands ever. The double straddle's on and unfortunately nobody raises ahead of us. We're in the first straddle. We have pocket aces. I can either raise or limp here. I felt like the player to my left is going to raise a lot of hands. So I go ahead and limp and see what he does. Unfortunately, he just goes ahead and check. Heads up to the flop. The flop is ace, ace, king, giving us quad aces. How the heck do we get value here? We go ahead and check and he checks it back. On a 2 of spades, I'm not even sure how we even bet here. We go ahead and check and he checks it again. The river is a queen of hearts. Here, I finally have to bet. I just flicker out a green chip of $25. Chris folds and I have quads and I just made a few bucks on him. Oh my God, why can't I get action on this hand? Sheesh. I wish I got some action here, but hey, at least y'all got to see quad aces. That's pretty cool, and the first time I've got quad aces in maybe a year. Alright, so I told you guys that in this vlog, we're gonna crack aces several times. Y'all ready for the first one? So the double straddle's on and Lucky Buddha raises his early position. He bumps it up to 70. It folds around to us in a big blind and we look down to the ladies. Easy 3-bet opportunity. We 3-betted to 260. It's back on Lucky Buddha and let's see what the general strategy might look like. Here, I don't see him 4-betting with hands like ace 3 or ace 4 at any frequency. He's doing a whole bunch of calling though with playable hands in position. Now, there are some 4-bets like for example, the ace kings and some aces. Guess he has something strong because he bumps it up to 745. This is not a small 3-bet. If we call here, SPR is going to be around 2 and it's going to be easy for us to get stacked. Still, we have to defend our position, especially since we've been 3-betting a whole lot in this game. And we don't want to be exploited. We put in a call and hope for a miracle. Now, the only thing I'm asking is for you to smash the like button because I'm going to need some raw energy here to summon up a board that helps us. When the flop comes out, there goes our queen. Holy smokes, we're about to get some money in. The flop is queen 9-7, 2 clubs. When we check it, we know the Lucky Buddha is going to see bet 100% of the time. He puts in a bet a little over 33%. The pot is now 2.2 and Lucky Buddha has exactly that behind. I don't see there's any reason for us to slow play now, so I just jam it here, knowing that he's gonna have to call off with aces, kings, or maybe a power hand like ace, king of clubs. He makes the call, and of course is shocked that I just hit top set. The board runs out clean, and we win a huge pot of 7.2K. So after that big hand, here's a quick update on player net earnings. We're leading the way with plus 5.7K. At this point, I feel like I can raise with any 2 and win. So when it folds to me in a cutoff, I raise it up to $40 with king 8 off. Aaron defends the straddle and we're off to a flop. The flop is 9-7-5 rainbow. When Aaron checks, I go ahead and c-bet. I have all of the nuttish hands in my range. All 3 sets, several 2 pairs, straights, etc. I put in a c-bet and Aaron defends. The turn is a 3 of clubs, bringing in additional straights. I'm much more likely to have 2 pair plus here still. With the additional bottom straight, I go ahead and fire another shot. I already told you guys, it's impossible for me to lose today. The river is a 6 of clubs, giving us the straight. When Aaron checks a 3rd time, we know we want to get value. We want to size accordingly. We put in a small bet about half size to 275. Aaron knows I'm never triple barreling here with garbage. And although he has a good bluff catcher, he just doesn't see me triple barreling with nothing at this point, especially when my river size is only half. So he tells me he beats nothing and he mucks his hand. Not bad for king 8. Poker's easy when you know what's coming next. Alright, so just taking a quick break. The stream just ended and we just finished up 6.3K, which means 10% of it goes to our guy, always bet on black. Honestly, the last few days was really tough, so I'm just happy that we got a win and got to give 10% away, which is $630. Anyway, we're gonna head out to the after stream game. Yeah, let's see how much we can do. Ready to crack aces again? Let's get it. It folds to me in a hijack and I have pocket 4s. I raise it to 40. Folds to the small blind, who's a loose cannon, and he calls the 40. Big blind folds, and Aaron is in the under the gun straddle. He raises it to 200. If we call, the effective SPR is still 5, so plenty of room to navigate in case I need to call an extra bet. I make the call. Small blind folds, and we're heads up to a flop. The flop is queen 8-3, 2 diamonds. The straddle bets a 3rd, 150. I think in this particular spot, sometimes we could fold and sometimes we can call. After all, there's plenty in this 3-bet range that wouldn't necessarily bet flop and turn. This time, we decide to just make a call. And good thing we did, because we banked the turn. The turn is a 4 of spades. When the under the gun straddle checks this time, I don't want to scare him away, although I do have to use a size where I can get it all in on the river. I go for a 2/3 bet of $500. If our opponent makes the call, it'll leave him about 1.3k behind, which sets us up for an all-in jam. Indeed, he does make the call, so we're off to a river. The river is an innocent 7 of clubs. When he checks it over us to again, we only have one move, and that's an all-in. He snaps call, and we quickly flip over our set. Big cooler as he mucks his hand and accidentally shows pocket aces. Yikes, we're running extremely hot today. I do feel quite dirty, but what can you do? It's my turn to win. So you guys know that I recently signed with pokercoaching.com. What makes this truly special is that over the last 2 years, this was the primary website that I used to improve my game. Even today, I regularly use the website to study my pre-flop game. There are a ton of courses, my 2 favorite being the Cash Game Masterclass led by Jonathan Little, as well as the Advanced 6-Handed Play led by Olivier Bousquet. If you'd rather look at specific hands and want to test your knowledge in real time, there's over 1,600 quizzes for you to do so. Or if you have some time and want to take a class, there's a bunch. And shout out to my private coach, Brad Wilson. Anytime I see his class, you know I'm clicking. And for the ultra competitive, if you want to sign up to a challenge, go really deep dive into a certain specific topic, there's a list of challenges that you can complete. For those interested, I left a 3-day all access pass down below in the description. Try it out. Let me know what you think. And if you have any questions, reach out to me. Thanks, guys. Last noteworthy hand of the night. It folds to us in the hijack, and we look down to Big Slick. We decide to raise it up to 75, and it folds to the blinds. Loose Cannon calls for 75, and Crypto Guy calls for 75 as well. We're going 3 ways to the flop. The flop is Queen 10-6, 2 hearts. The blinds decide to play it in flow, and with the gut draw and 2 overs, we'd rather check this one back and play pot odds poker on the turn. But with the way that we're running, no further stress needed as we turn the jack of clubs, giving us the nuts. Small blind checks, and so does big blind. This time, we bet 100 and only get called by the big blind. When the river is a 9 of spades, it's a really interesting card. For some reason, I feel like this river must have really hit his range. I sensed that he was pretty strong, even though he checked it over to me. I think the 2 pairs would have raised on a turn, and when he decided to call turn, it weighted towards some draws. Since anything that brick wouldn't be calling anyway, at this point, I'm just targeting any of the 4-liners that would have completed by the river. Since we have the mega nuts, I think this is a pretty interesting spot to overbet. So we bet $750 targeting a king or an 8. Pretty quick snap call, and we show him the bad news. By his reaction, I think there's a pretty good chance that he had a king. Anyway, fantastic hand, and we wish we didn't have to end this session, but we're up around 9.7k, and we're ready to go home. It's super late at night, and we're exhausted. All right, so we're headed to the locker, putting our chips away. Final numbers. We were in the game for 3k, and we ran it up to 12.7. and change. Some big hands after the stream, and to be honest, not sure how much of it was luck. I was just getting the cards and getting paid and playing against other premium hands. I think the thing that I did pretty well though was probably found spots where they had a large calling range and deploying overbets the correct way. But other than that, I don't know how much skill was that, but I hope you guys enjoyed it, because for me, when every single card was falling my direction, whew, poker sure is fun. All right, guys, so I'm tired. I'm gonna head home. Hope you guys enjoyed me getting some revenge, because last Thursday was not it, so today was much better. And we got one more week through the end of the month, so let's try to finish June on a good note, no matter how difficult it's been so far. All right, guys, love you all. Peace.